What's going on, folks? This is LB the Realist with Surrealistic Studios, Surreal News, where the real is surreal. So, President-elect Joe Biden has basically won this election. It was just reported that President Donald Trump actually came out and gave the nod to his administration to go ahead and start the transition of the presidency, so that they can go ahead and get the ball rolling. And that was basically his nod to Biden that, all right, I'm going to concede. Basically, we're going to go ahead and start this transition. So now that that's happened, Joe Biden actually came out today and he announced his foreign policy and national security cabinet. Now, a lot of people have been expressing their concern over some of the initial picks. A lot of names were floating around, one of which was Hillary Clinton for I believe, the UN or the U.S. ambassador to the UN. But he had a different person for that job, and I'll go ahead and go through the list. I did a little bit of research here. I've combined different sources to come up with my own notes of his foreign policy and national security team. Now, I don't have all the information, obviously. Go ahead and take this with a grain of salt, but this is just what I've collected, and to my knowledge, as well as other people, it looks as though he's filling his cabinet with Democratic insiders, lobbyists, pharmaceutical reps, and just people that can be labeled the swamp. Just as Donald Trump put in people that he said he was going to drain the swamp, but he ended up, finding his cabinet at the end of in the swamp. Like, this is the exact same thing that Joe Biden is doing. He's going to drain the swamp. Yet at the bottom of the swamp, he found his cabinet. So Joe Biden's pick for chief of staff is Ron Klain. His Secretary of State will be Anthony Blinken. Treasury Secretary will be Janet Yellen. Secretary of Homeland Security will be Alejandro Mayorkas. National Security Advisor will be Jake Sullivan. Director of National Intelligence will be Avril Haines. U.S. Ambassador to the UN will be Linda Thomas Greenfield. And the Special Presidential Envoy for Climate Change will be John Kerry. Now, no, we'll go from the bottom back up to the top here. John Kerry, 2004 Democratic nominee for president, Secretary of State from 2013 to 2017, and Massachusetts Senator from 1985 to 2013. This is the man that's going to be in charge of basically the climate change rally and creating a plan to combat it. Now, Biden has a plan, but the plan is to get ourselves off of fossil fuels by 2050. It's 2020 right now, so they don't plan on getting off of fossil fuels for another 30 years. 30 years in which Biden is not going to be here. I have a strong feeling that a lot of these people aren't going to be here in 30 years. Yet this is the radical climate change plan that we have under a Joe Biden presidency, with John Kerry being the special presidential envoy for climate change. So I thought that was interesting. I guess it's tons better than what President Donald Trump would do, or what he was, or the lack thereof. But it's still not nowhere near what we need in order to combat climate change. So let's see. The U.S. ambassador to the UN, Linda Thomas Greenfield, was actually the Assistant Secretary of State for African Affairs back in 2013 to 2017, I guess during the whole Ebola crisis or epidemic. The Director of National Intelligence, Avril Haines, was the White House Deputy National Security Advisor for former President Barack Obama. So another Democratic insider for that position. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan was the Senior Policy Advisor for Hillary Clinton. The Senior Policy Advisor for Hillary Clinton's campaign for presidency. And we all know how that turned out. The Secretary for Homeland Security, Alejandro Mayorkas, will be the first immigrant as well as the first Latino for the position. So again, there goes that the how do you call it, the perception or the surface level shit that people like to care about instead of the deep root cause issues. We'll just throw the first immigrant, the first Latino in the position, and we'll call it a day. I forget the word or the phrase they use for it. It's just missing me right now, but I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about. Secretary of, or no, I'm sorry, the Treasury Secretary, Janet Yellen, will be, let's see, Janet Yellen, yeah, she's going to be the Treasury Secretary instead of Steve Mnuchin. Now, this is the story that just hit today, talking about Steve Mnuchin is actually making it harder for her to access, I guess, some of the funds from the CARES Act. He's going to make it so that she has to go through Congress in order to access those funds. So basically just making it harder for the next administration to really do what they're supposed to do in regards to allocating money. The Secretary of State, Anthony Blinken. Now, this guy is the one that I think most people have a concern with because check this out. He supported military action in Libya and in Syria and was in charge of the Iraq policy. So he's the reason, or I should say one of the reasons why we bombed Libya. And there's an open slave trade state in Libya now. Also Syria. I just talked to somebody that I used to know back in Bakersfield, California, and her son actually is in the military, and she was telling me how him and his brothers and sisters in arms are getting ready to deploy out to Syria. So Democratic insiders, people that have been known to advocate for wars and bombings in Libya, Syria, in charge of the Iraq policy. We all know Joe Biden actually voted for the war in Iraq. We have people that were rumored to be in the administration, maybe not necessarily the Foreign Policy and National Security Administration, but we have people such as Michelle Flournoy, Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense for Strategy under Bill Clinton, and under Secretary of Defense for Policy under President Barack Obama. Steve Ricchetti, White House counselor. He's being floated for White House counselor. He was actually a lobbyist for Blue Cross Blue Shield and passed the permanent normal trade relations with China. So one of the main reasons why our trade is so messed up is because of this guy. Jennifer O'Malley Dillon, Jessica Hertz, which is actually a Facebook lawyer, Mark Gittenstein, former Biden staffer. So you see where we're going with this. Democratic insiders, pharmaceutical lobbyists, war hawks, just people that should not be in anybody's, like definitely like the definition of the swamp is who Biden is picking for his administration, just as Donald Trump picked for his administration. So this is just a little bit of notes that I've taken, just a little bit of the research that I've done in regards to Joe Biden's foreign policy and national security cabinet. And so far, it's not looking sweet. It's not looking good. It's looking like we're going to be dealing with the exact same things that we've been dealing with for years, no matter who the president is, because no matter who the president is, the president just seems to pick the same people that have been in everyone's administration for years now. So there's no real change. Joe Biden actually said to Wall Street that there wouldn't be any fundamental change in his presidency, under his presidency. So do we take him at his word? Him and Kamala Harris they're asking us to give them a chance. They're asking us to basically move forward and heal and to give their administration a chance. So that's what we're all trying to do. I mean, he basically won the election. Whether you think it was, whether you think he stole it or whether you think that the polling was off or whatever, he won the election. And this is who he's choosing for his cabinet. So I'm going to be doing more research on this. This is just the beginning. I thought that was interesting and sad at the same time, but not really surprising. So leave me your thoughts in the comment section below. Like this video if you like, share, and subscribe so we can keep bringing up, so we can keep having these conversations and we can keep on these stories. And love, peace, and light, folks. Until next time, remember to go ahead and click those links down below. Right now, you can get a free stock with Robinhood, or I believe it's two or three free stocks with Webull right now. If you sign up down below, start investing, start saving your money, because we never know what's going to happen in any administration, let alone the Trump administration, a Biden administration. It really doesn't matter. You need to be prepared, because what we're learning is that these people, these elites, these global elites, these Democratic insiders, Wall Street pharmacies, and all of these corrupt organizations, all they care about is their bottom line. They don't care about you. They don't have us in mind. They don't have our interest at heart. You know what I'm saying? So we got to take care of ourselves in this one. So click the links down below. And until next time, folks, I'll catch you on the next video. I'm out.